Welcome to Intro to GitHub Workshop. I'm Regina Wong.
I'm Anna Zhang.
And we're part of Women in Computer Science at Stony Brook University.
Women in Computer Science, or WiCS for short, is an organization whose mission is to provide resources and support to help women empower themselves in the field of computing. We hold professional and social events working with tech companies and the CS department. Do you need to be a woman majoring in computer science to join our club and attend our events? The answer is no. We are all about diversity and inclusion, and we welcome everyone to join us regardless of gender and major. We host bi-weekly general body meetings starting on Friday, February 5th at 4 p.m. EST. If you want, follow us on social media for more info.
GitHub is a code hosting platform for version control and collaboration. Git helps track changes in source code during coding. It lets you and others work together on projects from anywhere. So, why do we use Git? It helps keep track of everything that has been done. It's very easy to undo mistakes. It makes collaboration simple and takes less time. You don't have to worry about losing your code if your computer or laptop dies.
So oftentimes when you are working with GitHub, especially when you git pull or git push, which we will go over later, you'll be prompted to enter your username and password. SSH, or which stands for Secure Shell, is another form of authentication that allows you to not have to do that every single time you want to make changes to your GitHub. Essentially, you have to generate a pair of SSH keys. One will be public and one will be private. While the private key should always stay safe and, well, private, the public key can be shared around the internet. The private key allows you to get access to the server that has your public key registered. So your access can only be stolen if some other person somehow gets your private key without you knowing. And the way it works is that if the server can match your private key to the public key that was registered, then it will give you access to the server, essentially. So now we are going to generate an SSH key, and then add it to the SSH agent, and then add the key to our GitHub account. So now we are going to open up Git Bash, which should have come with your Git when you downloaded it. And I'm going to increase the size so you guys can see. So first off, Git Bash is a source control management system on Windows. Basically, it allows users to type and execute Git commands. Bash is a Linux-based command line that has been ported over to Windows, whereas the Windows command prompt, which is this one over here, this is the shell that is native to Windows essentially. For the other demos, so because we have two demos later on, we'll be using Windows command prompt.
Okay, now we added Anna as a collaborator. We're going to have Anna create a new branch and edit the message while I do the same.
Okay, I just pushed.
So now when we refresh this here, we can see now we have 3 branches and we have Anna's branch. And if you look at the text file, you can see that she added another line here. So if we do, so we're going to show you how to merge. So first, what you have to do is to move out of the merging branch. So if we do a git, first we have to do a git, we're going to do a git pull to pull in Anna's branch. And now if you do git branch R, you can see all the branches. So if you do git branch, you won't be able to see Anna's branch, but we can still go Anna. We do git you can see now we're on Anna's branch. But what we want to do is to first move back to the main branch. So now we can merge, do a git, wait, we move to my branch. We do a git merge with main. You move to the main branch and then you merge them with git merge Regina. So now if you go on to here and refresh it, if you look at the main, it's still this. If you look at the Regina branch,
Do you need to push after merging?
good question. You do. Let's go back to CEWIT project run main. You do need to push. Now it has the original message. But now let's try to merge with Anna's branch. So we git merge Anna. It says here that we have a conflict. So this is a merge conflict. So automatically Git tries to fix all the merge conflicts that you might have, but then they cannot fix this one. This is why we have a merge conflict. So if you look at the, let's close this text file, you can see this head, my message, 2 dash lines, Anna's message, Anna. So one thing I prefer to do, instead of opening it on Notepad, I would open it in Visual Studio Code. So here it automatically it visually shows you where your merge conflicts are happening. So you can either accept current change, which is this line, accept incoming change, or acceptable changes. So we would like to accept the incoming change. So you can click on that, save it, and then back on here, git status. You can see that it's still an unmerged path, but once you do a git add, and do a git status, you can see that it merged properly. Now we can do a git commit message, fixed merge conflicts. Okay. Then a git push. Again with a git status. Everything's up to date. So now if we go to CEWIT and we go to the test file, you can see that it's the one that Anna submitted. And then if you go to Anna's, it's this one. And mine is still the original, what I typed before. So here are more of the resources you can look at for GitHub and Git. And here's a link to download Visual Studio Code.
Thank you for coming or like watching this video.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. So now that we've added now that we've added the SSH key to GitHub, now whenever you do git push on git bash, you don't have to sign in again every single time you have to do it. Now I know that Windows 10 has a built-in SSH client. So to access that, you have to go to manage optional features, go to add a feature, type in open SSH, and it should pop up, and all you have to do is to click on it, install it, pretty self-explanatory. Now the reason why it's not popping up for me is because I already downloaded it before, or like installed it before. So yeah, it will give you these two I guess softwares. So and then if you want to generate the SSH keys for Git on Windows, you have to go to your PowerShell. Make sure to run it as administrator. Because administrators are the only ones that can enable OpenSSH on the PC. So then to run to enable the OpenSSH commands, you will need this command: capability online name OpenSSH.client. And then it will tell you that it's online now, don't need to restart. And then pretty much the same after that, just follow the whatever I did.
So here are some of the basic Git commands. So here we have a list of the most popular commands that you will need when you start using Git, but keep in mind that there are also other variations and other commands that you will use depending on the situations that arise. So starting with git init, it creates a Git repository, or repo for short, and it is a collection of repository is basically a collection of files and folders of your project, along with each file's revision history. You can either transform the current directory into a Git repo
to start recording your revisions of your existing local project, or create an empty Git repo in a specified directory with a command git in it and then the directory path. Next is git add, which adds a change to the staging area. Basically, it tells Git that you want to include revisions to at least one file in the next commit. It doesn't really affect the repo in any significant way, since changes are not actually recorded until you do git commit, which is the next command. Git commit takes all the stages from git add and saves them to the project history. Keep in mind that git add and git commit commands are part of the fundamental Git workflow because they are what you need to record the versions of your project into the repo history, followed by git push, which updates the remote repo with any commits locally to a branch. We will talk more about what a branch is later. It's like pushing changes to a destination, whereas git pull is when you want to fetch the remote version of the project and merge with your local version. Git clone is when you create a local copy of a remote project. Git status shows what changes are tracked, modified, or staged. Git merge combines the two branches together. And then finally, Git branch shows the branches being worked on locally. And now Regina is going to give you a demo of all these commands happening.
Yes, so first we are going to go to GitHub, and we're going to first create a new repo. I'm going to call this CEWIT. And then I'm going to make this private. You can add a README, and you do create repo. And now you see it's an empty project. So I'm going to go to the folder that I would like to put the repo. I'm going to put it in this folder. So you can open the terminal and move the terminal to there by using the cd command, or you can also type cmd in the folder, and we're going to copy this code from GitHub. From here, we're going to do git clone, and then you can right click for it to copy. So now we are in the folder where the repo is, but it's not the repo. So we're going to have to cd into CEWIT. First, you can ls to see all the, or not. Okay, you have to cd into the folder, which is the same name as a project, which are called CEWIT. So now we're in the repo. So git status shows the current status of the repo. You can see here we had a new folder as the README file. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new text file. I'm going to name it test. And then if you do git status, you can see that it's an untracked file because we didn't use git add yet. So once we do git add, you can do git add test.txt, or you can also do git add period, which would add the file. So then if you do git status, you can see that it's no longer untracked file, it is changes to be committed. So that means it added the file, but it's not on it's not committed to it. So we're going to have to do a git commit. All commits need a message, so you can write, and all those messages should be explaining what changes have been made. Now if you do git status, you can see that there's nothing to commit and everything, and your branch is ahead of origin main by 1 commit. So this means that your origin main can be seen in your GitHub. You can see that there isn't a text file. What you need to do is do a git push. And now you see here that it was pushed on to the GitHub. So repo. So now if you refresh the GitHub page here, you can see now we have a test file. So if you're going to change something in the text file, we're going to say, I'm going to put the line hi. Gina, and I'm going to save it. If you do git status, you can see now it's also not staged for a commit. So we're going to have to git add the text, not test. Test.txt, git status again, and now it's ready to commit. So we do git commit message. And now we have to do a git push. So now you can see here, we refresh GitHub and we open, you can see that the commit message you just made here, and you can open it and you can see the line that you just typed. So we went through most of these commands here, and we're going to go on to branching.
Yes. So now we're moving on to branching. So branch represents an independent line of development. What does that mean? So let's say you have a working code for your project. Now you want to update new features to your project or fix a bug. But what if something goes wrong after you add this whole bunch of code to your project? You may have ruined your whole entire project with unstable code, and you and your team are going to be very upset. So that's where branching comes in. Think of a branch as a snapshot of your changes. So look here with the green dot here, you can think of this is what we call a main branch. Here you can add a branch to the main branch, and we can call it feature 1, where you can focus on files 1 and 3. Once you think that you've completed the feature and you see that everything is working properly, you tested everything out, you can then merge to the main branch. However, if something does go wrong before you merge, you can always go back to the main branch, which remains uncorrupted because all the branches are independent of each other. Also, let's say your teammate wants to work on the second feature while you are working on feature 1, and the two features can work independently of each other. The team can then create another branch called feature 2 and work on files 2 and 4 without having to worry about whether your code works or not. And then when your teammate is done with feature 2, they can then merge to the main branch and everything will be updated. So now Regina will go over the basic branching commands.
So here are the main branching commands. Git checkout, which moves you to another branch. Git branch, which, as stated before, shows all the checks the branch you are working on, and it shows you all the other branches that are locally on your device. Git checkout, which creates a -b, which creates a new branch, and based on the optional branch. And that optional branch is usually defaulted as master unless it was mentioned. Git merge, which merges the commits from branch A to branch B. And git rebase, which pulls all the update from the base branch to your current branch. And now I would be doing a demo for collaborative Git with branching. So back to GitHub. Now I'm going to add Anna as a collaborator. So you go to settings, manage access, invite a collaborator. And now I sent an invite to Anna.
So Regina has sent me an invitation to collaborate on her project on GitHub. As you can see, I don't have any notifications on GitHub regarding this collaboration. So what you need to do is to go to the email that you that you used to sign up to GitHub with. You will see that this email, so this is the email that I received. You will see that this email tells me that Regina has invited me to collaborate on her repository called CEWIT. What you want to do is to scroll down, or like don't scroll down, but what you want to do is to click on this button, view invitation, which will direct you to either accept or decline this invitation. I already accepted it off screen, so when I click on this, it will just direct me to the repo. You can also directly click on accept or decline without click on this button. The email also gives me the option to visit Regina's profile to view her public projects or learn more about her. Keep in mind also that this invitation will expire in 7 days. So make sure that whoever you're inviting will respond to the invitation within 7 days, especially when they are a part of your team. If they don't respond promptly, then you will just have to send them another invitation.
And now she accepted the invite and now is a collaborator. So back here, we are going to create Git status. And we're going to create a new branch. We're going to do git checkout -b. Then you can name a branch whatever you like. So now we do a git. Now we're on a new branch, the Regina branch. Let me do git branch. Oh, git branch. You can see now that we're on the Regina branch. It's usually going to be green. So if you want to move back to the main branch, you can do git and now if you do git branch, it shows that we're on main, but we don't want to be on main. So we're going to go back to git checkout. Branch to make sure that we're on the right branch. So now we're going to open back the text file and I'm going to add another line. We're going to save it and then we're going to add it like the previous demo. First, let's do git status. You can see that it's changed and we're on branch Regina. So now we can do git add. Git commit. You can see that we have one insertion and deletion. I can show you more about it after when we're done with this. Let me do a git push. We have to do git push set upstream origin branch name. And now the branch should be updated. So we're still in the main branch here. If you open the text file, you can see that it's still the original text. But if I go back and I go to the main branch, Regina branch, and open the text file, you can see that there's the new part of the message. And if you like, you can click on here to see the changes, the insertion and deletions. Okay, now we added Anna as a collaborator. We're going to have Anna create a new branch and edit the message while I do the same.
Okay, I just pushed.
So now when we refresh this here, we can see now we have 3 branches and we have Anna's branch. And if you look at the text file, you can see that she added another line here. So if we do, so we're going to show you how to merge. So first, what you have to do is to move out of the merging branch. So if we do a git, first we have to do a git. We're going to do a git pull to pull in Anna's branch. And now if you do git branch R, you can see all the branches. So if you do git branch, you won't be able to see Anna's branch, but we can still go. Anna, we do git you can see now we're on Anna's branch. But what we want to do is to first move back to the main branch. So now we can merge, do a git, wait, we move to my branch. We do a git merge with main. You move to the main branch and then you merge them with git merge Regina. So now if you go on to here and refresh it, if you look at the main, it's still this. If you look at the Regina branch,
Do you need to push after merging?
Good question. You do. Let's go back to CEWIT project remain. You do need to push. Now it has the original message. But now let's try to merge with Anna's branch. So we git merge Anna. It says here that we have a conflict. So this is a merge conflict. So automatically Git tries to fix all the merge conflicts that you might have, but then they cannot fix this one. This is why we have a merge conflict. So if you look at the, let's close this text file, you can see this head, my message, 2 dash lines, Anna's message, Anna. So one thing I prefer to do, instead of opening it on Notepad, I would open it in Visual Studio Code. So here it automatically it visually shows you where your merge conflicts are happening. So you can either accept current change, which is this line, accept incoming change, or accept bold changes. So we would like to accept the incoming change. So you can click on that, save it, and then back on here, git status. You can see that it's still an unmerged path, but once you do a git add, and do a git status, you can see that it merged properly. Now we can do a git commit message, fixed merge conflicts. Okay, then a git push. Again with a git status, everything's up to date. So now if we go to CEWIT and we go to the test file, you can see that it's the one that Anna submitted. And then if you go to Anna's, it's this one. And mine is still the original, what I typed before. So here are more of the resources you can look at for GitHub and Git. And here's a link to download Visual Studio Code.
Thank you for coming or like watching this video.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.